back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jeanette and welcome to a get ready with me / makeup tutorial. And yes, I'm completely aware that I wore this same yellow shirt in like another video that I did record. This is currently my favorite shirt right now, so I'm gonna wear it a couple times. Disclaimer, I'm not the best at explaining things. I shut down when I try to explain really anything. I will try to explain everything in this video to the best of my ability. So please bear with me. I will be giving you guys all the products that I use in this video, how to use them, and how I achieve my base. So if you guys are interested in any of that, please stick around. I would love to have you guys. But other than that, let me get some coffee and let's get right into this video. First thing that I use is the CeraVe Facial Moisturizing Lotion. It is the PM one. I do not like the AM one. It is really bad. It peels your skin and it's just really bad under makeup, so I do not suggest you guys use that one. This is why I use the nighttime one for daytime and nighttime. It doesn't make any sense really, but it works for my skin and I'm not gonna like gatekeep. I'm gonna let y'all know that it sucks. But I do love CeraVe though, no hate. Before I blend this out, I use this serum by 111 Skin. It is so good. The next thing I use is this SPF sunscreen. How you pronounce it? I could be wrong, correct me if I am. But it's my favorite product of all time. I want them to sponsor me one day. Okay, so now we're getting into makeup, and I always use the NYX Control Freak gel, and I slick back my eyebrows to my liking. I always brush them up first and then take it and then go down with them like that. But make sure this corner is up because you don't want it looking strange. You are going to want to have your eyebrows looking symmetrical as possible. You want them to be twins, not stepsisters or anything like that, not cousins. You want them to be symmetrical. So you can brush them out to your liking. As far as concealer and cleaning them up, you want to make sure that you have them symmetrical. So for my eyebrows, I actually use two different concealers. I use a darker shade on my forehead because my forehead is a little bit darker than the rest of my face. For the top of my eyebrows, I use the Juvia's Place in the shade 15. And for the bottom, I use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand. So I always put like a big glob right at the top of my eyebrows, and then I use this brush. This is my favorite brush of all time. And then I just smooth it out and I put it right at like the back of my eyebrows. You just want to work it in. You don't really need a lot of concealer. Make sure that you're not putting too much concealer up too far on one side and then not matching that energy on the other side is what I'm saying. I like my brows to be really bright, so I use the NYX eyeshadow white base underneath, and I just put it on this the half section, and it looks like this. I don't know if any of you guys want to check it out, but I literally love it, and you guys will see why. While that is sitting, we're gonna get into the top of my forehead, or the top of the brow if you will, and you're gonna want to stick the darker shade right here, and the same thing you did with the top, spread it out like this. And the top of your eyebrow is what really matters, because you want them to be symmetrical, especially if you have it brushed up too far. I was the type of girl that would always fill their eyebrows in every day with like the Anastasia Dip Brow or pomade, whatever. But I decided to make a really good change in my makeup routine, and I just decided to brush my eyebrows out and conceal them. And honestly, that was just the best change I've ever made. So my advice to you guys, if you guys want like a better eyebrow, and if you feel like yours is too time consuming, just invest in a really good eyebrow gel, and I promise you guys, you would not want to go back. I mean, every once in a while do like filling my eyebrows, especially for occasions like that, but most of the time my eyebrows look like this. I always take a flat brush and I start blending it out like this. Be careful. I know it looks like I'm being really rough, but you have to really be careful when you do this, especially when you're up here, because you don't want your concealer to smear anywhere on your eyebrow. Do the top as well. There's the brows right there. Honestly, I'm so in love with them. Now, here is the part where you guys are going to want to take your beauty blenders. Please, 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 I cannot say this enough. Please wet your beauty blenders. I always see girls make the mistake of not wetting their beauty blenders and they just beat their face dry. And honestly, it makes such a big difference when you at least spray them with some type of setting spray or some type of spray bottle, or even just going under the sink and just wetting it and squeezing it until you get it the consistency that you want it to. But please just do it or your base is gonna look crappy. I always start with the top of my forehead like this, and then I will move down, start on the sides. But most of the time when I'm doing like underneath my eyebrow, I will take a brush like this and I will just like go like that to smooth it out, because the big old thing on my eyelash extensions does not feel good, so I would suggest using a brush if you guys have eyelash extensions. Running into the base part, and my favorite primer is the Power Grip Primer by e.l.f. Not everyone likes this primer, but honestly I just love it. It's so sticky and my makeup stays on. Okay, so after my primer is on there, I will take a beauty blender and just pat it in my skin. It is extremely sticky, so be careful. I'm going to get into my nose contour. So I take the Juvia's Place concealer we use for my eyebrows, and I just take one line right here and one line right here. And I use the Morphe palette Truth or Bare. I'm not going to open it in front of you guys on camera. I'm kind of embarrassed. It's like falling apart. You guys have the palette. As soon as you open it, it's the second row. You're going to use the darker shade next to the nude color in the palette. So yeah, then I take that shade and I sculpt my nose bone like so, like this, and leave it, and then do the same to the other side. I always use a brush like this when going in to blend it out, but I only blend out the top where my eyebrow is because it's obviously going to be connected to it. So you're gonna blend it out like that, and then I will blend out the bone just a little bit, and right here, which I'm almost out of this one, so it's like not even showing up. So I guess we're gonna use the e.l.f. one. This one is in the shade Fair Beige, and we're going to, there we go, that's a lot better. Put it on the right there, my bone, and right there. When I get into the under eye makeup, I go back and forth debating on whether like I like my blush on before I do my concealer or afterwards, but today we're gonna do it underneath. I always use the blush by NARS. It is in the shade Orgasm. It is my favorite blush of all time, and not to pump them up too much, but I will never love any other blush more than I love this one. So just saying. Use a contour brush. It works good for me. I find that it works a lot better for me than any other brush. And I take it and I put it under the skin like this. Look how pretty that is, guys. Okay, for this side of my skin, this side of my cheek, sorry, like this. I told you guys I'm about to explaining things and you're still here. Why? So when I'm done putting the blush under there, I like to blend it out with a beauty blender just to make sure that it's blended in really well before I go in with concealer. So for concealer, it is a bit iffy for me. I do use the same one I use under my eyebrows, and sometimes I will use the It Cosmetics concealer, but I mostly like to stick to my e.l.f. one. I do use a lighter shade because I find that it works better for my skin. And also I do not use any foundation at all. I don't know where my tripod thought I was going. I use the same brush that I use underneath of my eyebrow, and I do this first. And I also like to sculpt it where my nose is as well, because I have a kind of a bigger nose than most individuals in my opinion. So my contour on my nose, I like to make sure it's snatched, and it might not be the most natural contour in the world, but it's what works for me. And see that coverage? beautiful. And you're just gonna keep going until you blend out. You don't want to see any of the color of your eye underneath there. You want to make sure that you have your skin beat. Once we have that completely blended out, we are going to get right into the baking process. I like to use Airspun under the eyes, and I use Naturally Neutral. That's the shade that I use, and honestly it's pretty good. And I just do under my eyes like this. And but for my nose, I do use a totally different one. For my nose, I like to use a sponge. Mine is really dirty, but it's like an angled sponge. And I like to use the shade Translucent on my nose. And I just do the sides, and then I do like this over it. Also, I need to blend the top of it, so that's when I go in and blend the top of it. I do not blend the bottom one. That is important. I do not blend it. I only blend the bridge of my nose. That way it doesn't look like it's just like a stripe going across my nose, but this one is important because it helps my highlighter be more bold. So I don't like to blend it. You guys can do whatever you want when it comes to your nose contour. This is just what works for me, so do not listen to me when it comes to nose contour. You guys do what makes you guys happy. So after that is blended, I'm going to take some and put it on the bridge of my nose. Just like that. It looks a bit messy, but it's fine. We're going to leave it, and yeah. Okay, so while that is sitting, I get into my lower half of my face and I contour it, and I still use the same one. I like to do under the blush, and then on the same on this side, and then I would just do my jawbone, and I will leave that just like that. We're gonna take a angled contour brush, and this is the same brand as my other brush I used in the beginning of the video for my eyebrows, and you're just going to pat it down. And I say pat it down because you don't want to smear it. If you want your face to be a certain shape, then you don't want to smear it across your face. You want to blend it in and pat it. You do not have to pat your jawbone. You can drag it because that's your jaw. But for me, right here, you're going to want to pat it and not drag it. So now that we look like a Barbie doll, we are going to now bake my face fully. So we're going to use the Naturally Translucent powder, and we are going to just open it, and we're gonna get right into it. So take it, pat it, and just make a line across your face like this. See how it's like angled? Do it how you want your face to be, your face shape. It doesn't have to be so rough. You don't have to keep it on there for that long, but I like mine to be snatched, so this is how I do mine. I do not bake the top of my forehead. I already have the color that I want it to, so I just leave that completely alone, and I let it sit for 10 minutes. While this sits, I will normally like scroll on TikTok. I figured I would record a video like this before school because I start school September 5th, sadly, so I only have like a week before I start school, so I wanted to just pre-record a few videos for you guys because I don't really know if school's gonna be super hectic for me or not. I don't know if I'm gonna have time on my hands to be vlogging, but I promise you guys I will push content out as much as I can. My posting days are Sundays, if you guys do not already know that already. So all my videos, I will at least have a upload every Sunday, and if I do not, then you guys will see me active on my other platforms such as TikTok and Instagram. Okay, so the sitting time for my under eyes is pretty much over, so we're gonna brush the under eyes like this. And like that as well. Now I'm gonna highlight my cheekbones. So I like to use the highlighter by Ulta Beauty, this one right here, or I will use, see, my highlighters are falling apart, so I'm so embarrassed to show them on camera, but I like to use a Revolution one. Here is this shade. It's really awful. It's awful, guys. but it's so pretty. And I do a half a moon type of look on my highlighter, so I will highlight my cheekbones, and I will also highlight my brow tail like that, and it's a half a moon. It's very pretty in my opinion. Now I don't know if I'm gonna do inner corner highlight today. I don't know how I really feel about that at this point. I used to do it all the time. I would get too carried away with it and it would just look so bad. So I kind of do for school, but for summer I have not been really, and I don't think we're gonna do it today. But if I do inner corner highlight, it is going to be the Ulta Beauty one, so this one right here. So now we're going to brush off my nose, and it's gonna look like that, so it looks like it's blended with the rest of my face. And then you're gonna do the same thing here. That is so pretty. But we're gonna take the same brush that we used previously to blend it out, and you're gonna just blend it to make sure that you can still see the lines. And you're gonna blend right here too. For highlighter, I do not use the same one that I use for my cheekbones. I actually use this highlighter. I cannot see the shade on it, so I'm not really sure what shade it is, but I can show you guys what it looks like. It's very pretty. I take a brush like this, not a super fat one because I like it to be really smooth, and you're gonna take it and you're gonna put it right here, and that is how I get my highlighter to sit just like that. And then you're gonna do a little smudge right here on the bone of your nose. Look how pretty that is. And I like to do it either before or afterwards, but I like to use the Milk blush for my nose, and I would just brush it either on top of the highlighter, or I would do it before the highlighter. Sometimes it doesn't matter to me. I would just do whatever. Again, I do not know what shade this is. I can show you guys. It's kind of like a peachy one. It's really weird. I don't know, but so cute. And I would just put it on there. It's kind of too much, but it's okay. And after that, I will just retouch my highlighter. And there you go. So now that this bake is done, I will brush it off with a bigger brush, and you guys will see how the line's stuck on there. That's what I mean by you can either keep it on there for a few minutes, or you can keep it on there to where it sticks and your line is cut, smooth, and snatched. That is how I like my makeup. So you can see it's snatched, and when you come over here, it just blends in perfectly. That's how I like mine. Moving on to lips, I use the NYX lip liner in the shade Peekaboo, and I will line the outside of my lips. My signature lip that I always use is a nude lip. It combines two different lipsticks of Milani and NYX, and I'll show you guys in a minute. Now, I naturally line my lips. I do not overline my lips. This is my natural lips, and I just do not like overlining my lips personally. But I don't see anything wrong with it either. If you guys like overlining your lips, then I support you and whatever. Okay, so for my lipstick, I use the Milani one in the shade 430 Secret. And this one is darker than my other one, so I like to do this one first and then take the lighter one in the middle of my lips. Look how pretty that is, guys. I'm sorry, I get so happy and so excited about my lipstick. I also like to apply my lipstick with a brush because I don't like to use the actual lipstick. So just so I know where my lipstick is going. It may sound a little bit weird, but I just like using a normal brush like this. You will see that this next one is really light, and I cannot see the shade on it, but see how it's lighter? I would just apply that in the middle. And then just like that. And now that I am all finished with my base, I will take an alcohol pad and wipe off both of my nose piercings, so that way they are able to be seen. That's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching my get ready with me / makeup routine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found this video as helpful, And yeah, that is basically it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching my YouTube video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other social media platforms. That will be down in the description box down below. But other than that, my posting days are Sunday, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.